Hey guys, welcome to this video on my Techno case. I've done a few videos, few performances with this one, and I am now going to rebuild it and add the Plinky. And before I do that, I wanted to walk through the various things that go on in this case. So at the heart of it, there's this 4-channel mixer here from FrapTools QSC with 4 things going into it. So the first channel is for the DFAM, which I use for the kick. Obviously, very gnarly kick with a lot of different sounds you can make. And with the resonance, you can even go a bit like into a high pass style. And you have these 2 VCOs. If you turn up the second one, it gets gnarlier, especially if you make it into a square. And if you turn it off, it's like a simpler one. Yeah, so that's the main use for DFAM. I really like to add like these in-between steps to make it a bit more groovy. And one thing I sometimes do is I use the second VCO as a voice, as a techno voice. So I switch this to VCO2 so that the pitch affects it. I set up the frequency, do not add a pitch envelope, remove FM. And it makes these like techno sounds. Yeah, so that's the DFAM. Then on the second channel we have the BAA, controlled by here the first channel of the Steppy. And here I do a bit of a trick, so the trigger goes both into the BAA but also into this Quadrax envelope, which then opens the filter. And I think this kind of makes some nice techno type sounds. And I steal the pitch from the DFAM here, just to add a bit of variation. And I like the MS-20 here, 22. And yeah, on this I can also show the effect. So if I turn up here, we hear the Mimeophone, which has a lot of nice sweet spots. You can use this as like a reverb fill. Yeah, it works really well together. And one thing on the BIA is I used the Neo Trinity to modulate it a bit. I think this goes into the attack, and then you can record a movement and then this plays back and add some more dynamic tones. And of course you can make it a bit higher pitched. On the third channel we have something that is more like a drone voice. Okay, so the way this voice is set up is we have the Loquelic going into the top part of this switch and the pony going into the bottom part. So if I switch this one, we hear the pony or the Loquelic. This goes into this 24 dB low pass from Doepfer. And then, and I'm really proud of this, it goes into this sidechain thing set up here. So this channel of the Eucledian Circle triggers an envelope which we invert and then use to duct the sound. So if I remove this, you hear the raw sound. And now it's duct, and the way we do this allows us to add the kick. Groovy, and you can play around with the Loquelic. But then what I also do is on the B channel here, I can add triggers for this especially if it's on like 5 steps, so it's a bit poorly. Next is push-pull rhythms. On the 3rd channel, and then the 4th channel is just drums. Here I also got a little bit creative. So the first thing you will hear is just 909 hats. And the way I do this is I just send a clock trigger into the main gate, and then this switch selects whether we hear the open or the closed one. So every 16th. And then to make it more interesting, I use one of these channels here into the accent trigger. And then totally this goes here into the mum, to filter or accent. I really like playing with this. And then like you could just do this to get a new kind of sound. And then the mum also mixes in the Rample, which I'm using for 4 different sounds. So the first one is just a 909 ride, which I control here with the C channel. Then we have a clap on the D channel. And then finally this switch toggles one of 2 additional hi-hats, which are controlled by this Eucledian circle. And so this way there's like a lot of options for percussion. And then all of this together flows into the Distning set to a high-pass filter. So we can do this stuff. This is very nice for bringing things in, taking things out. That's the 4 channels. Now one extra trick I do is I have here a knob that controls whether the drums go directly into the mixer or if they go through the guillotine. So this is how it normally sounds, and this is how it sounds through the guillotine. Just use it if I want to make something really gnarly and noisy. Here, and it changes the sound a lot. That's all I wanted to show. Thanks for listening.